One of the most iconic images of my childhood is watching Xena Warrior Princess, and it's now finally in Raid. I was over the moon when I saw the official teaser on Raid's official Twitter page and their post over on Discord. It was an amazing 20 seconds of just looking at it. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that they're bringing Xena Warrior Princess into Raid, and it's finally a reality. She'll be featured through the Champion Pass, the first ever Raid Champion Pass that they're launching. It's gonna start tomorrow all the way until the end of February, but the last chance you'll have to get Xena Warrior Princess will be I think January 5th, and then the Champion Pass ends on February the 4th. Xena Warrior Princess, I've built her. We'll have a look at her, have a look at her skills, have a look at everything on how she works, and whether it's worth it for you to go for the Elite Pass, because there's going to be a basic pass which gives you the avatar of her at the end, but will not give you the champion itself. Only through the Elite Pass you'll be able to pick her up, but also there will be 10x events for some specific dates. I'll tell you the dates right now. On the 13th of November, Monday, she's going to be through a 10x chance on Ancient Shards available. Then on the 20th, she's going to be available through Sacreds. And then on the 30th, she's going to be available again through Ancient Shards through just 10x summoning. So if you don't want to pick up the Raid Elite Pass, the Elite version of the Champion Pass, then you'll be able to hopefully summon for her. But still, we don't know the pricing of the Champion Pass, but Xena will be the reward in this one for the Elite Pass in the end. I just can't wait for tomorrow. But for now, we're in the test server. We're going to test her out. Let's have a look at her skills first of all. She is a Force Legendary Attack based Barbarian. I mean, it kind of fits. And then let's have a look. Attacks one enemy 2 times. Will ignore 3% of the target's defense for each buff of the target. So the more buffs they have, the more defense she'll ignore, up to a maximum of 30%. That's pretty okay. I mean, through an A1, I'm still not sure of the multipliers yet, but they're not that high, if I'm being honest with my testing. But you guys will see the numbers as we'll go through. We'll also ignore shield buffs if the target is under 2 or more buffs or debuffs. That is also pretty cool, especially against the bolster. Says that some enemies have, especially in PvP. She looks like a PvP champ. So Chakram Cyclone attacks all enemies. This is the true reason people will love her. Will ignore 5% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. Again, depending on the number of buffs, you can ignore up to 50% defense, but very unlikely the enemies will have 10 buffs. More often they'll have 3, maybe 4. Most cases they'll have at least 1. Okay. Steals 20% of the turn meter from each enemy. This effect cannot be resisted if the target is under 2 or more buffs or debuffs. This is very, very specific. Okay. So only if the target is under 2 or more buffs, she will have an unresistible A2, which means you have to build her with some accuracy if you're trying to do content where she needs to do the stealing of turn meter, but the enemies don't have buffs on. So if they have buffs, you don't need it. If they don't have the buffs, kind of need some accuracy to do your turn meter steal, which is huge. Basically gives her an extra turn on most cases. And then look at the A3. Whip of Destiny. Attacks all enemies with the whip. You guys remember from the show. Will ignore 10% of the target's defense for each buff on the target. Resets the cooldown of this skill if it kills 2 or more enemies. This is kind of nice. Stronger than the A2. Again, ignores defense. Again, conditional on the number of buffs on the targets. Again, maybe 2 or 3 buffs on the targets, meaning 30% ignore defense. That is huge. Plus a Savage, plus a Cruel Set, plus Helm Smasher. We're looking at big damage. Ignore there. Defense ignore for our damage, right? So 4 turn cooldown. This one's a 3 turn cooldown when you book it out. Book requirement doesn't look that high. 4 plus 3 plus 3. That's kind of cool. Just 10 books to get her to the maximum. I think that's okay. That's lower than average. The average is around 11 or 12. Look at this. For the greater good, passive with the 3 turn cooldown. For the active effect, passive effect increases this champion's attack by 10% every time they use an active skill. Stacks up to 100%, resets each round, so you can use it in some encounters. I've tested it out in some PvE content, but in reality, this will mostly be applicable for, let's say, the Hydra, where you'll have the chance to do 10 times your active skills. Remember the cooldowns and all that. On bosses, I'm not sure if you're gonna use her on any of the bosses that we have in the game right now. And then also has a 50% chance of randomly changing this champion's weak hits to normal, strong, or critical hits. Just have a look at that, right? What does that mean? It means that she won't be weak hitting the enemies. The chance increases to 100% when attacking enemies under 2 or more buffs. It means that affinity breaker is no longer required, like when equipping this champion. So it's gonna be really strong against targets with buffs on them, and usually targets will have 2 or more buffs in PvP, as I mentioned before. So the weak hits will not be an issue. She will not be doing normals because you're gonna build her with 100% crit, so she'll be always doing critical hits. Okay, the strong ones are when you're fighting weak affinity. So when they're under buffs, you're basically gonna always be doing crits. So active effect, what is that, guys? So feels this champion's turn meter by 100% and places a 50% increased attack buff on this champion for 1 turn whenever 8 or more buffs are placed on the enemy team in a single turn. This is very specific to activate. Only a few champions in the game can apply more than 1 buff on the enemy team. Examples: Duchess, Sifi. Okay, if you see them and they're gonna go before you and they buff up the team, you'll go with Xena before everybody else. But it's very specific on when this happens. So if it's an arbiter that is buffing up a team, that's 4 buffs only, and let's say the team has a bolster set, which is considered a buff, that does not count. The bolster is on a different time that it's applied on your allies. And then she's got an aura for arena battles by boosting it by 33%. Pretty nice. In terms of overall attack base, she's got a 1.5k. I think that's okay. Speed is at 100. That's again okay. And then all the other stats are about what you would expect out of an attack-based champion. But she looks amazing, and I can't wait to see if they're ever gonna do any skins for her. Because it's like a collaboration with Universal. So I'm not sure how long this is gonna go after the end of the champion pass. And it would be nice to have multiple skins on her, because she looks so good. So simple, but so good. It's just amazing. I just kept looking at this and just couldn't believe it that this has come to Raid. And who knows in the future? Who knows? All right, let's have a look at Xena, how I've built her very quickly, very quickly. Where is she? There she is. Her avatar looks very nice. I've built her with Savage and Cruel, as you would expect. 100% crit rate, as you would expect. 205 speed. You don't need all that because of her passive, remember. But you won't count always for your passive to go before the enemies, right? If you're too slow and the enemies have only a few buffs, you'll be just left there waiting to get your own turn. So have that in mind. 7,000 attack, 283 crit damage. A little bit of accuracy, but I wasn't planning on getting accuracy. Maxed her out. And then given her Helm Smasher, basically. Even given her Shield Breaker, even though she can ignore Shield through one of her skills, I don't care about that. I still give her Shield Breaker. Of course, Ruthless Ambush and Cycle of Violence definitely feels like it's gonna be working well with our kit, with our skills, all right? So if you have a look at this one, if we go to 12.6 on Nightmare as an example, we'll have to have a look at how she works. So she'll do the A2 first, all right? The A2 first will steal turn meter. Look at that. We boost our turn meter, and then we get the kills. Look at that. Beautiful. Basically, that has reset our A3 also. We do the A2 again. Look at how strong that is. We do the A3. The weak hit is there because it's a 50-50 chance. The enemy does not have any buffs. And then I look at the A1. I mean, it doesn't hit for that great of amount. Even on Nightmare, which you would expect. But overall, looks very cool. All the animations are really cool. If I put it on auto, let's have a look at what she does. She did the A3 first. There's the A2. She gets a boost in turn meter. She does the A3 again, gets a kill. Let's see. The kill does not give us a reset there because it wasn't 2 or more, I believe. That's why we didn't get it. 27k, 24k, not that amazing. The attack we get boosted only happens during the current round. So every time we go to the next round, our attack is reset. So there it is. There's the A2, there's the A1. You get hit. It's very slow. I mean, with the same stats, other champions do this in 6 seconds, but I'm just showing the skills right now. Just showing the skills. A ton of fun for sure. A ton of fun for sure. In terms of overall damage, I don't think you will need her. If you're an endgame player, you won't need her for dungeons, right? But if you are any other average player out there, what are you going to be using her for? So the idea will be to use her in some dungeons in terms of just overall damage to push through each of the rounds to get a faster team. Let's say you're dragging a team, you want to make it faster. You have Arbiter maybe already. Maybe you have like a defense down weekend champion. Right? Lydia, it's very unlikely for the majority of players because it's a hard task. But defense down weekend, and then you can go A2 or A3. Doesn't really matter. So let's see, A3. That does some good damage, but nothing too crazy. As you can see, it just doesn't kill them with just these debuffs. And then what you would do is probably have another 2 champions to finish it off. And then let's see, we can get the kill going. We go to the next round. The A2 is going to be very strong on her. The A2 will be giving her basically that extra turn, regardless of how much speed she has. She'll get an extra turn because of all of the enemies. And then look at the A3 here. We kill them basically without a defense down weekend, which is just fantastic. And then when you reach the boss, example, the dragon, you'll have a poisoner to do the actual work. Xena will not be the one killing the dragon or the ice golem or the spider, although I do have in mind one spider team. I think that Xena will be much better to just help you get there to the boss much quicker in terms of damage. She won't do more damage than well, what Seer does, but she's still something that will be available to all players. Even if it's still through the elite pass, it's still going to be available to all players if they want to pick this one up. So let's get out of here. Let's actually show her in PvP, where it's the most hype part, where everybody's hoping that she is something unique. All right, so let's do a refresh. Let's go into PvP. So what kind of team would you be running with her? I would say running her in a team with an attack booster is kind of crucial. So using your Arbiter would be ideal, right? Even though you get the attack, it's only for 1 turn, the attack up, and attack up is huge. It's a huge buff for any DPS. So you cannot depend on 8 buffs, so the enemy team being buffed, for you to get that crazy passive and for you to be able to do some damage. Wukong really depends if you have it. Obviously the lockout, very hard to have. But I'll just do a showcase of what you can expect in terms of damage potential, really. Damage potential, really, against all these enemies. So here we lock them out. That is, didn't even lock all of them out. So that's good and bad. So here, what I will try to do is, let's see, we can try and sheep something here just to have them. Let's sheep him. So we remove the stone skin. We actually get a turn here, and now we will not be, very unlikely to steal the Terminator from each enemy. Probably gonna steal it from this guy, from the sheep, because of resistance, but because they don't have any buffs, we can't do anything at the moment. And we'll just do the A2 here. Let's have a look. 50k, we almost killed that one there. There's the buffs. Okay, that was 2 plus 3. That's 5, and then plus 3, that's 8. She got an extra turn immediately. Then we'll go with the A3. Almost there, almost. Remember, I have very high damage stats on her. So, like, if I use a very similar team that locked out the other team and just went in for damage, they would have probably been dead. So, it's kind of unfair to compare the two. So this one is very interesting, because this is like a freeze champ. We'll be in trouble with this one. So what I want to do is let's put like a Duchess in there for the block debuff buff and see how this goes. So we'll gain Terminator now, I do expect. Are we gonna get frozen? Oh, we get slept. There's the buff. We get an immediate turn, then we lose it because we were frozen. So this is like one of the problems with her, like against the Torment. She'll get that Terminator, but that's a little bit of an issue. All right, but let's continue. Let's not use the Terminator booster. There's a big AoE getting destroyed there. Do I have the revive? No. All right, let's get out. Let's get out. And my Wukong, as he got up, He got frozen. Let's go in there again and see if we can do things differently. And see Xena in action here. So, yeah, we get frozen. That was not nice. Block debuffs. There's the sheep. That was nice because of Duchess. There's a big burst. Big burst because of the... and as we get out, we get frozen again. The control is insane, man. It's insane. And we can't do much. When we are controlled, we just can't do anything, really. Alright. Even with like 200 speed, she still feels slow. Her passive has a 3-tier cooldown, so it's not like I can jump in and get my own turn. Very unlikely. My Wukong should be back very soon. Oh, he got cheap. That's nice. Okay. Couldn't even buff there. Oh, okay. Finally I get a turn. I'll do the... I could do the A2. I could do the A3 here. I'll probably do the A3. They're under 1 buff, so that's 10% ignore defense. Good damage. Not crazy. We couldn't kill the Duchess, which is like a big threat. There's the sheeps here. Sheep City. Could have revived my Arbiter there. Let's do this. He's up. And block buffs. Although that doesn't really help us because we need the enemies to have buffs. If I do this, I might get frozen anyway. So might as well do this. Let's go. Look at that. 28,000 with your A3 that can ignore defense. Although the enemy didn't have any buffs. It's still very low damage. Even on the Duchess, which she mitigates a lot of the damage. I would have expected the higher multiplier. I think they had her made with a lower multiplier because of the ignore defense that she has in her kit, and they didn't want to make her that powerful. That's what I think happened with her. And now we get that extra turn. Look at that. That's what I wanted to see. 45k there with the A1 because of the number of buffs. Again, the more buffs, the better it is going to be for me. In terms of damage. Man, look at that. I get frozen again, man. Come on. Just, it doesn't stop. The freeze doesn't stop. Baron goes in there. Big burst. Let's remove some buffs. Although I do like them with buffs, I don't like the perfect veil. This fight is going on forever. Because I'm basically controlled by that torment. Since the first second or something. Alright. Want her to get a turn. See the A2. Finally does some good damage. The A2 seems so much stronger, especially if you got the increased attack buff up. Seems so much stronger. So this one is a very likely defense you'll see, especially in high-end PvP. Will you go with this team that I'm running now? Probably not. You'll run something like a Sifi, and then you won't be running her against the Rotos. This is like a very difficult defense. Very, very difficult defense. Even with the likes of Xena. But let's have a look at how this will go. In terms of damage, our damage is also mitigated a lot because of Harima. Because she will be ignoring... well, not ignoring defense, but she will be reducing the effect of your ignore defense that you do. So let's do this. Look at that. Reduce some of the turn meter. Let's go for a buff removal. I think we stone skin. Remove the stone skin there on the sheep. Let's put a perfect veil on us. Sheep is asleep. Harima's gonna go. Oof, big damage. The number of buffs that they have, you would expect me now to ignore 40% from Harima. I will be doing critical hits on all. So let's see. Big whip and 22k, 27k. It's just it's the Harima plus the Duchess. You cannot do anything against that. It's not possible to do anything against this combo with the kit that Xena has. It's just too strong. The combination of uniques is too strong. All right, put the block buffs. That's good. That's good and bad actually, but it's good because some buffs are just very annoying. Just very, very annoying to deal with. Look at that. The damage that Harima does. Defensive based. So much tankier than us. Couldn't even stun there. Let's see. Let's keep on buffing. Let's go. 8-2. There we go. 30k. We managed to kill it. Did we get any Terminator? Didn't look like I got any Terminator there. I have to check. I have to check because I'm not sure there if I got any Terminator. It didn't look like it. Didn't look like I got Terminator there. So is Roto's gonna go before me? Doubt it. The Duchess. Alright, that's perfect Veil. Let's see. Probably Harima's gonna wreck us now. Alright. Yeah, it's just it's too much. It's too much to handle. The kits of some champions is just too much to handle for what she provides. So I doubt you will see her in end game PvP. Although she will be strong in terms of damage potential, maybe some counter picks in terms of multiple buffers. The power of the likes of Gyorgit, the likes of Roros, even Harima combos together will make her an unlikely candidate, in my opinion, against even obviously the Ukrainian combo, right? It's just there's no chance you can do anything against these. But all right, let's see. The enemy Xena. How strong is this gonna be? There's this Yumiko that's probably gonna have like 450 speed, but just go in there and have a look and get wrecked. All right, we see all those buffs. Pretty strong there, 92k. Let's revive our Xena. I think the neck rate is required. I think that the neck rate is required to protect her. I was thinking about it, but I don't have a neck rate. You guys know me. So there's very little things I can do. Let's see. Look at what? Because of the number of buffs and the fact that we ignore shields, we still killed our Xena. Does this one have a revive or something? What the hell happened? Oh my god. Yeah. Although this guy would have won the fight just because of the Hex. The Hex gave me a stun. Just because of the A1 ignoring shields. And it's just tremendous amount of damage there, man. It's just crazy. That was just crazy. I couldn't even land the block buffs. Did this land on her? And he doesn't have a revive now. So there's not much he can do here. So we sleep her. Hopefully. Stop. Oh, come on. The Hex. Come on. I forgot about the Hex. Alright, Yumiko is asleep. We have control. I'm gonna relax. Let's sleep again. Loses the turn. How fast is she? My god. It's like they got multiple turns and I still haven't got my turn with the sheep. And I'm like 210 speed or something. Let's buff up. He's out of the sheep finally. Lock buffs. There we go. We're gonna get locked out probably. There it is. Sheep that guy. My Xena needs to go so she does a little bit of damage. Let's see. As the extra turn. Decrease attack on us. Come on, man. Alright, take her out, please. There we go. Finally. That took a while. That took way longer. Way longer than I would want. And now, like, how much damage my A2 does? 70k. That's not a lot. With an increased attack, that's not a lot. And the number of turns we've taken so far, I would have expected that to be way, way more damage. So let's refresh and try and find that team again. And fight it. I just want to see what his Xena would have done to me. That's what I want to see. Cause look at that. He buffs. There's the instant turn. She does the big burst. Okay. Again, my turn. She didn't kill me. Like, she didn't kill me because of that. I got my cooldowns increased. I'm left there to do just my A1 maybe. Try to stun something. And then I would do my A1 again. And that's... and the same thing happens. Like, with ally protection, stone skinned, the shields don't matter. It's just too squishy because she's attack based. Then you have the Harimas, you have the Taraz, you have all that. She's not gonna be the key to your PvP success, guys. Don't you consider it something like that. But how did we get slept? I specifically hit that one so we wouldn't get slept. Come on. And the same thing would happen here. So let's just exit. So overall, do I like this champion too much for PvP? No. She's not gonna be the key to your PvP success. Am I gonna get this champion? Yes, definitely yes. Am I recommending for you guys to go and get this champion? Do whatever the hell you want, guys. Honestly, I'm just getting here because it's Xena the Warrior Princess. Xena Warrior Princess. You just cannot have a raid account and say, oh yeah, I had the chance to pick up Xena. I just didn't go for it. What was the reason? Like, what was the reason, coldbrew? What was the reason? Right? Yeah, this was the video, guys. This was the video, guys. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this showcase. She definitely packs a punch. Not as much as other champs, but she's still Xena, right? She's still Xena. Gonna buy her tomorrow. I haven't bought a pack since the 31st of July 2023. So this July. It's almost been, 5 months or whatever. And I haven't bought a pack. This will be the first time I'm giving some money to Flareon. And that's why. Yeah, this was the video, guys. Thank you all. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.